We're making risotto, and you might ask, how is risotto thrifty? And the only way that I can argue that it's thrifty is that it's rice, and rice can be super cheap depending on what's happening in the world rice production. It's certainly a cheap source of carbohydrate, and risotto can be quite a hearty and warming meal. Now, the downfall for risotto is the cooking time. So we start with chopped onion. We melted butter. We did not brown the butter. We melted it relatively slowly, put the onions in. We don't want these onions to brown. We want the sweat. We want them to sweat. We want them to sort of just become translucent. You can see that they're getting there right now. They become sort of sticky and sweet, but there's no browning. We don't want browning in this. I'm just grabbing one to sort of have a taste to see where it's at. Now I've added my rice, and we stir in the rice until the rule of thumb is that you stir it until the rice becomes too hot to touch. And if you pick some up, it burns your fingers. So you stir it dry without any liquid, just incorporating it into the onions. I'm testing it here. It's not hot enough yet. And I'm incorporating it into the onions and heating it up. And then once it reaches that temperature, I'll begin to add I'll add white wine first. That sort of stops the cooking. And in a second pot, which you'll see me pouring from, I have hot chicken stock, and that's what I'm going to use to cook this. You could use vegetable stock if you like. I actually have a rosé here because it's got to be used for something, and it's kind of old. I don't want to drink it. It's light, and it's not going to discolor my risotto too much. Plus, this risotto in the end, and you won't see it in this video, I wind up using it as a mushroom risotto. So this becomes the base, what we make here, and then later when I reheat it, I use a mushroom stock. There's my chicken stock. Nice clear chicken stock, and this is what I'm going to add periodically. And what you do is you add it maybe a liter at a time, depending on how much volume you're making. You add stock perhaps 4, 5, 6 times throughout the cooking process, and you stir it and stir it and stir it and reduce it down until there's no liquid, till it's very thick, and then you add more liquid and you stir it and stir it and stir it until the liquid reduces down until there's almost no liquid, and you add more liquid, and you do this 3 or 4 times until your rice is cooked. And then when your rice is cooked, you pour it out onto a cookie sheet if you're cooling it down to be used later, which I recommend. The great thing about risotto is that it will hold up in the fridge for a while. So you could make a risotto on a Sunday, cool it down, and have it for a couple of meals throughout the week. Or kids could have it as snacks. They can just heat it up easily in a pan with a little bit of stock, or even heat it up with a little bit of water and then finish it with some grated cheese or whatever you like. But this is a base. You're learning how to make the base. And another thing on risotto, do not buy arborio rice. If we're talking being thrifty here, and that's what we are discussing, the purpose of these videos is to teach you, to show you thrifty cooking solutions, and for the purpose of cutting household costs, and that's the entire aim of thriftculturenow.com, is to cut household bills down to size. For that purpose, on risotto, use Japanese short grain rice. It is much cheaper than arborio rice, and it is a short grain rice, and so you're going to wind up with the same result. Nobody in your household is going to know the difference. Most people in a restaurant wouldn't know the difference. Some Italians would scoff at that, but I don't care. It's much cheaper, and so go for the cheap Japanese rice. It may be produced in California, but it will be a short grain rice that's used in Japanese cooking. That's what you want to find. Go to Costco. Go to somewhere where you can get a a lot of it very cheaply. It's not going anywhere. It's got quite a long shelf life. Stock up on it and use it. And as opposed to just steaming it, risotto is a little bit heartier meal. It's more warming than just steamed rice. Plus, for the sake of digestion, you might say that cooking it this way, you've broken it down a little bit more, and it may be easier to digest than just a steamed rice. I don't know. That's a speculation, but I suspect because the cooking time is about 45 minutes in total, which is sort of a check in the wrong column as far as thrift is concerned, because it's a long cooking time on the stove and you're using a lot of energy. However, it's sort of trumped by the inexpensive rice. So it's a bit of a toss-up. I mean, you got to pay for food one way or another, and try and cut costs wherever you possibly can. You see, I'm still stirring away, and I've added stock maybe 4 times at this point. Again, work it off the bottom, work it off the sides. I say this a lot in my videos on Thrift Culture Now, my YouTube channel. Constantly be working the ingredients off of the sides of the whatever vessel, be it a pot or a pan, off of the sides and off of the bottom. Here we go. We're finished, and we're going to cool it on this cookie tray, and then the kids can reheat it throughout the week with just a little bit of stock. There you have it. You know how to make risotto.